This episode is brought to you by the Old Dominion Athletic Foundation. Because of you, we create winners in the classroom, in athletic competition, and in life. Become a member today.
Hello, Monarch fans, and welcome to the Hudson Homers podcast. We're talking about Old Dirty in the daylight here. It is Sunday morning. We're going to get you the episode a day early as we all start traveling down to Montgomery. We get 2 from JMU this weekend. We secure a spot in the tournament, but I think we left one on the table there Sunday, it feels like to me. But CB, what do you think?
Yeah, it's weird how you went into the week, you wanted to win at least one game, secure yourself in the tournament. You did that, you won the series, and you're still a little like, that wasn't quite what we could have had. When we went into Sunday, I think you were sharing it, went into Sunday with the opportunity to sweep the series, and then depending on some other things, end up in maybe the 5th seed. I think the last day was the 6th seed.
Yeah, that was all was left Sunday or Saturday.
We didn't do our job, and then I think the other teams didn't do what we needed them to do anyway. So it feels a little frustrating because we still end up 15-15, which we've been now 4 years in a row in the Sun Belt. So might need to interrogate, how do we make that better? I think part of it is getting off to better starts, and we don't want to be a 15-15 team every year in the Sun Belt. But from where we started, 5-10, pretty phenomenal. Went 10-5 in the second half.
Yeah, we've taken 4 creative ways to get to 15-15 all of those years. We've had bad starts, we've had bad endings, we've been kind of average, some of that. I will say that 15-15 is not great. I think if Coach Finney was here, he would tell you there's probably should have had more wins throughout many of those seasons.
For sure.
But the fact that last year we were pretty much completely on the road, not playing at home, went 15-15. This year we've got the funky stadium set up. We still find a way to go 15-15. Yeah. So I think brighter days are ahead, especially with the new stadium opening, the young talent that's on the team. I think better days are ahead for ODU baseball than 15-15, but it's still kind of a miracle we got to that this year, starting 5-10.
Yeah, like I said, so it's a weird one where it was a successful week, but it kind of doesn't feel like it. But then that's where maybe you need to again adjust your perspective and realize nope, that was a great successful. Finney laid it out when we were 5-10. Hey,
he called it.
Team. Yeah, he called the shot. And so that was great. I mean, that's what we wanted. We saw, I think, a lot of growth in our guys the last 5 weeks of the season. A lot of guys that stepped up in ways they needed to. A lot of guys I think you're seeing a lot more competitive at bats, both pitching and hitting. You're seeing a team of guys who believe that. We went into the 9th inning there yesterday, down 4 runs, and I really thought, we're gonna win, because they've been doing that. So that's a good sign, because there were parts of the year where we went down 1 run, and times it's like we're not gonna win.
Yeah, there were other times it was 8-0 through the 3rd, and we were like, well, we just gotta hope we don't burn too many arms and try to steal one later. But neither of the other outcomes we needed yesterday happened. Texas State completed the sweep. Louisiana won the series against Coastal. So even if we would have won yesterday, we would still effectively be in the same boat. So, the tiebreakers are not friendly to us in Texas State. By beating Marshall a 3rd time, took the common opponent tiebreaker, which kicked out our edge that we had with Southern Miss and Coastal being at the top of the standings. I will say,
nice to win.
Yeah, especially against JMU, because I don't really care about the royal rivalry or anything, but that swung the outcome of that to JMU's favor. I would say baseball did their part by winning 2 out of 3. It'd be great if some other sports would, do their part at least once, especially not blowing halftime leads. Anyway, but still, they didn't play horribly yesterday. No. We've essentially had 1 bad inning, and we had so many screaming line drives hit right at people in the outfield. But yeah, glad we got the 2 out of 3. It would have been a very different tone on this podcast if we lost this series to JMU and we're out of the tournament. That'd be different conversations today. It's weird how it can swing. Yeah, we wouldn't be recording it on Sunday. We wouldn't have a need.
Yeah, right. But the point you just made about the line drives. Some days it's not your day. And yesterday was one of those where it's like they were hitting the ball right at people really hard, and they make diving catches, they make great plays. The inning where we scored a few runs, it was like, oh, that's not what's happening. And then the same way, all their little dribblers are going through. It's just some days it's just, for whatever reason, the fates and the baseball gods or whatever, it's just like, this is not your day. So kind of how it went.
Yeah, it was either in the 5th or the 6th inning. We had runners on. We were building some momentum. Hit kind of a shallow pop up behind first base into right. Should have dropped in for a hit, especially with the wind. Right fielder for JMU just made an unbelievable diving catch.
Great catch.
Kept the run off the board. And it was at that point, I think I sent a message in the group text. It's not your day when they're making that play.
Yeah.
JMU
That's how it goes.
like they didn't really have anything to play for Sunday other than this was their last game. They were playing for pride. They were pumped up. They did not lay down. So give them credit for that. I felt like they laid down a little more on Thursday and Friday than they did on Saturday.
And those guys, a lot of them, you kind of can see them as they're walking out, and a lot of them look like we're just ready for a season to be done. Which is a shame. But yeah, we had the one bad inning, the third nightmare inning on the Saturday game, gave up 5 runs. Even with that, our pitching staff in 3 games, we had 26 innings, 5 earned runs. So that's a 1.73 ERA, had a 1.12 WHIP, and 31 strikeouts in 26 innings. I mean, that's including the bad 5th, because actually only 2 of those runs were earned. So you are, again, as I said, despite that loss, you're seeing what you want to see going into the tournament. You're seeing the pitching staff, guys are finding their roles, finding some length in their outings they haven't had before, and the hitting. I think we both would agree the hitting could have done better in all 3 games, but certainly in the first 2 they were timely.
Yeah, we were able to do enough in the first 2 games, then obviously get the walk-off in the Friday game to win it 10-0 and run rule.
Walk-off.
Yeah.
Most dramatic walk-off of the year. That's why
it was. But yeah, I mean, you also got what is now my favorite picture for ODU baseball. Scotty and Zach celebrating at second after Zach hits the walk-off 2-run double.
You think when Scotty hit a bomb off him in high school that Zach ever thought they'd be sharing a picture like that?
Just add this to the collection of like, hey, here's when I hit the home run off of Zach, and here's us celebrating together in college. Props to Zach for getting almost the same vertical as Scotty on this. So
yeah, that's pretty good. I think he just kind of started late. I think I caught them both kind of at the peak of their jump, and maybe you see Zach maybe getting stopped from his momentum up by Scotty.
Scotty's you can't out jump me. But amazing shot. I think it kind of summed up that game where the guys were just coming together and doing what needed to be done to get the run rule, save an inning for the pitching staff. And it's just fun. We could have won that thing 8-0 and 9 and been like, oh, ho hum. But to get the walk off with the run roll is always just more exciting. Just rub it in a little bit more.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, the guys all did what they needed to do. I mean, it was Kuski and Gaddy were both phenomenal in their starts. Was Kuski 5 innings, 1 run, 6 strikeouts. Gaddy 5 scoreless. A walk and a strikeout, and both of them, honestly, Gaddy only had 69 pitches, Kuski had 72. They both could have gone deeper. I mean, that was a game they were going to finish 6, maybe go in 7, but because of the situation, knowing that okay, Kuski's pitching on Thursday, if things don't work out for us, which is exactly what happened, he's probably going to be starting the game for us on Tuesday. Well, okay, let's not throw him a bunch and have him be on the short rest. So did what they needed to do to get the win. That was a case of, if that game happened 2 weeks ago, they're both throwing 7 innings and maybe into the 8th.
Yeah, they could definitely have gone longer. I mean, it's the most efficient I think either one of them has been all year, both Darren and JJ. They look good. They were in command. They were hitting their spots, being super efficient. And that may help us a ton going into, having to play a Tuesday game in single elim. We were able to keep, Ben Tanton, he threw in the game on Friday, only got 1 inning, only threw 13 pitches. So he should be good to go.
Disgusting in those 13 pitches too.
The pitching on Thursday was really good. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, Darren, Patrick, and Bailey were great. Yeah. Bailey ate a lot of innings.
Bailey was phenomenal. Yeah. Bailey's maybe best performance of his career at ODU.
Yeah, I mean, 3 1/3, no runs, no hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, and he did it all in just 50
new career high. Yeah.
But yeah, 50 pitches is big, so obviously he's going to be available. But
Mhm.
Friday, I mean, JJ getting to 5 innings, I still can't believe that's his first win of the season. But I start looking through box scores, and it makes sense.
That was weird. Yeah.
But 5 scoreless innings, 3 hits, 1 walk, 6 strikeouts, only 69 pitches. Kellen coming in behind him, 2 hits. That was it. And we didn't know this until last week's episode that he actually got I think a cortisone shot in his arm. That's why he was down last weekend. But he looked good. And then Ben Tanton just
18 pitches in 2 innings.
Yeah, that's pretty damn efficient,
Crazy.
I got to say, for Kellen. That's pretty awesome. The pitching was good. And I don't think the pitching was that bad on Saturday. It's just the 1 inning. But I don't think Jackson got a lot of support in the field in that inning, as evidenced by the unearned runs, but also some hits that, if we have a normal outfield configuration, some of those don't drop in.
Yeah, man. I had forgotten until looking at the box scores and checking things that Sulpicio threw 3 scoreless and looked really great. We were just talking before we started. I think he's on a stretch. His last 4 games, it's like 11 2/3, 1 run, no walks, 14 strikeouts. So Nick is really getting hot here at the right time, which is great to see. And Cavalcante looked really great in the game too.
He did. He looked good. And I was really happy to see Tyler Stott be able to get an inning of work there. Obviously last appearance at the Bud for him. He's been around for, I think, 5, maybe 6 years now, playing football, baseball. Yeah. I mean, he's just a good teammate. He's a good dude. And to see him go out there and he got 2 strikeouts in his final appearance at the Bud is really cool. He's had some good moments this year. I'm glad he had a good final year. But with that 3rd inning, I mean, you get a ground rule double, which I don't know if anyone could have gotten. That ball was pretty perfectly placed in the left center gap, and one hopped up, and then you have a home run.
To hit that ball where it would land and then bounce almost straight up into the stands. That ball was high, and I think we talked about. We had Efren Morales playing left field, which he hasn't done a ton of outfield. And you think, well, maybe if TJ's in left and Nick is in center, maybe one of them catches it. It's like maybe it'd be a pretty phenomenal play if they had. I think we can agree. F I think is an average outfielder at best. He's not bad out there. He's just not anything special. So that was a play. I don't think you can expect him. I don't know if you can expect anybody to make that play. I think if somebody had made that play, it'd be amazing. So that guy, you got to give him credit. He smoked the ball, hit it extremely high, and in the perfect spot.
Yeah, I mean, there's a trade-off in speed with Ephraim in left, but that's about it. I think he's got a strong arm. He showed that off a little bit there. But there was a play.
That whole body into the throw.
Yeah, I mean, he's leaving his feet. I mean, he's strong. Like, don't make any mistakes. F is a strong dude. But there was an error there at first, which it was a hard hit ball, awkwardly hit right at him. Then there was kind of one of those big pop-ups that went to shallow center that was just kind of perfectly between the infielders and Scotty coming in from center. I think we've just been spoiled by how much range Nick Felton has.
Yeah.
So anytime there's a ball hit to center field, I just automatically think, oh, it's caught.
Yeah. It's caught.
And
that sun was brutal yesterday. There were a lot of balls lost between both teams. I don't know if it was just like the exact perfect time. I'm not going to turn around and stare at the sun to figure it out, but there were a lot of drop balls. I mean, not necessarily, or ones that were like shaky catches even.
Yeah, anything on that first base side of the field that was popped up, especially early in the game, you couldn't see anything. Like you were just staring right into the Suns. That was pretty tough. But that's just kind of how that inning kind of went off the rails a little bit. Then they got a double that they just snuck just inside the bag down the third baseline. They got 2 more. But if you erase that inning, I mean, the pitching has gotten better each week.
Yeah.
If you erase a little bit of that inning, even though that only 2 of the runs were earned, the turnaround for this pitching staff from where they were at the start of Sunbelt play to now is unbelievable. I mean, we had guys that could not get out of the first and second inning, and now we're like, well, they could have gone 6-7 innings, but we pulled them at 5 because we're winning and they were throwing so well and we need them again. Like, again.
It comes up every time. It's unavoidable. It's amazing how they pick that number and it just comes up naturally in life. You're dead on me. It really is a case of, like I said, guys have just stepped up and decided they need to win. Like I said, we kind of said it a few times on the podcast. Just you have to determine that you are going to win. You are going to just play each pitch. You're not going to worry about what's happened before. You're not going to worry about what could happen in the future. And we're seeing a lot of guys just fighting, competing, and it's really I mean, the feelings we have watching the team kind of the first part of the year where things were not going very well compared to now. Like I said, I'm sitting here, we're down 3-4 runs. I'm like, we're fine. We're gonna win.
Yeah.
You know?
It's very different mentality than before. It's like, oh
Yeah.
crap, we're down 3. Go
Yeah.
ahead and start
Right.
thinking about
Like,
tomorrow.
right. It's over. Yeah.
Yeah, and credit to these guys for sticking together and just
Yes.
continuing to fight and
Yeah.
claw their way back in.
They love each other. They really do. When you talk to them about each other, they just you can see that their eyes light up. You can feel their hearts. You can feel how much they really care about each other.
Yeah, it's very apparent. And, there wasn't a ton of energy in the dugout yesterday early on, but when things started to tip towards ODU, you felt it get wild. Also, shout out to the crowd that was there on Saturday,
Yeah. On all
giving the
days,
umpire hell from 375 feet away about balls over the plate that were not called a strike.
man.
I
Man,
love it.
we had a packed crowd. I mean, obviously last weekend of the season, we got a JMU has a ton of local kids, so they had all you can see Ryan Gosio, who was one of my students in 7th grade. So he was catching on Friday. Every time he came up, his whole like extended family was out there making a bunch of noise. But the crowds were huge and packed. I mean, obviously between graduation, senior day, all the things, Mother's Day celebration, we had tons of family. So it was really cool to see for the unique, not ideal scenario of our stands to see them just completely packed on the nicest weather weekend we had all year. It's what the team deserved, and that was great.
Yeah, absolutely. There was one funky thing that happened, and off the top of my head, I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday, but it resulted in Scotty Young getting a put out on a force play at
Oh
second
yeah,
base. I think
yeah. I
everyone
think that
just
was
forgot how many outs there were.
well. I think that was Friday, and I don't want to call anybody out, but I'm pretty sure the scoreboard had 2 outs up.
Mm,
Which that happens not just at ODU, happens other places where the scoreboard is just wrong. Some they get the count wrong all the time. And so when they hit the fly ball, even the coach for JMU at third base is telling me, just keep running. It's when 2 outs, just keep running in case he drops it. And so that guy he kept running, and then they kind of our whole team is running into the dugout. And then our coaches are like, wait, no, hey, whoa, hold on and stop. And then they're all kind of there and they're like, just throw it to second base. And so I think you pointed out that Scotty caught the ball, then also ended up back with the ball at second base to get
yeah,
it was like an 8 to who knows what, a 3 to 8 double play.
yeah. I can't remember how you would input that into like the stat system, but it's a fly out to right with a throw to Maverick. So it was 9-4-9 double play with the second out at second
Yeah,
base.
yeah. Oh, yeah, he was playing right field. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's crazy. It was weird. And it's one that you could argue it was on the score operator, but at the same time, you're the one playing the game, man. You got to keep track of the outs. If you don't know how many outs
Yeah.
there are, that's on you. It sucks because you do rely on this. Like now, me personally, I rely on the scoreboard all the time. I look over it. Sometimes I'm like, "What's the count?" But I'm not in the game. If I'm in the game, I'm at what you got. Hey, we got 2 outs, 2 outs. Like
I mean
you know,
that's all you hear in between plays, and it
yeah,
wasn't like it was an extended inning where 8
mm,
or 9 guys came out to the plate. Like it was a pretty quick
no,
inning, but
yeah,
it was very weird. And I was watching the ESPN Plus broadcast, and I was listening to Ted go, "I've got one out on my score sheet. I've got one out on my score sheet." And
yeah,
then all of a sudden, it was like they could hear Ted from his perch above the visitor
yeah,
dugout there, and that's when Scotty started calling for the ball back from Maverick to go
yeah.
catch it and
Well,
stuff
that's what I
inside.
think our guys had. We have guys keeping charts and everybody's keeping stuff, and they're like, "Hey, that's only 2 outs." It's
Yeah,
so yeah, it's unfortunate. I think and again, I think some of that is the case of they've got the makeshift situation out there in the rally alley,
yeah.
and it's not the scenario that they want to have, and that's led to a couple times things happening. Which our crew and our people did a phenomenal job this year with everything they had to deal with, and I'm not gonna blame them for anything. Somebody else might. That's not what I'm gonna do. They're phenomenal. They take care of us. They're great. If somebody had again, I'm putting that. If you guys don't know how many outs there are when you're playing the game, that's on y'all. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah, you can't depend on the score, but that's why it's
Yeah.
behind you. Yeah, and also shout out to the camera crew that's been there. They're basically
Yeah.
placed in the worst spots imaginable,
Oof.
just baking in the sun, having to look up into the sun to watch a monitor.
Yeah.
They were one that was about
and in
yesterday.
the spots where hard line drives are going to come down and try to kill you also.
Yeah, because they did not have the L screen, at least the last couple
Yeah.
of series down that third base line, because I basically stand right behind them normally when I'm over
Yeah.
there, and it's not ideal, and they got a lot of people in their way too, as I was finding out yesterday. But one note, because we talked about 4 straight years at 15-15. It's obviously not where we want to be. Like, we've got to find a way to get to like 20-10, get to the top of the league.
18-12, something a little better.
Yeah, like securely, that way we're not sweating the top 6 going into the last weekend.
Yeah.
Like, we were kind of comfortable there. But just a note on JMU baseball. So what they went to NCAA regional 2 years ago. Since then, they are 38-70 since going to the regional. So it's like they geared up for that 1 year, and then it's been pretty rough since.
As the Donald Glover gif I shared when I shared that with y'all, good.
Yes, we got to be able to get them in something down bad.
Yeah.
And that's what it is for now.
I mean, that's been my argument. Again, I think I said this last week we were talking about him, that there should be no reason that if we are looking at the same prospect, that if it's a good ball player and they want to come someplace and play at a good school and a good program and a great stadium, if you want to choose JMU, that's cool. I don't know why you would, but all right.
Yeah, for baseball, I don't understand. They have plenty of other sports where it makes a lot of sense to go there.
Oh yeah,
instead of a
absolutely.
lot of baseball is not one of them. I think you're gonna start seeing Group of 5 schools make a lot of business decisions with what sports they can actually be competitive in, and they're gonna cut money from the ones that they can't be competitive in. Obviously, JMU has been fantastic at football since they've come to the Sun Belt. They've been pretty damn good at basketball too. That's where their investment's going, because there's not like a ton of money to go around at the G5 level, especially at JMU. They don't have quite the donor base that we do, which is weird, but that's accurate for athletics. And
again, as we always say, it's a trash school.
Yeah. So it'll be curious to see if other schools in the Sun Belt start cutting back on baseball because they can't compete with Coastal and Southern Miss.
I mean, if you're like ULM, why are you spending money on it, right? But what do they spend any money on, I guess, is the real.
That they have the lowest athletic budget. I seriously think that the Louisiana Tech edition for the Sun Belt is an insurance policy on ULM dropping back down.
We should. I mean, I hate to pick on a school, but I don't. ULM does not fit in the Sun Belt. It's not They're not competitive in anything. It's a weird.
Yeah, they did. We did get their women's soccer coach, so we've got.
There you go.
We're able to get something out of
which
that.
He must be good because he competed in that place where they spend no money and don't seem to care, and he really dominated. I saw their exhibition game, and 2 of the players that he brought with him played, and they both looked really good. So yeah, I am looking forward. We hate to see Angie leave. She was wonderful and did a ton for us. But it sounds like she's still really supporting the school and the team.
That's a tough situation for her. Obviously, she was loved here. Did amazing things. Stinks that she's stepping away kind of for personal family reasons that she's having to go through that. But well, anyway, we're gonna talk players of the week. Then we're gonna look at the tournament. So without further ado, let's get our 3 crew here for players of the week.
Yeah, look at that, 3. Yeah, so we talked about our pitching, right? We talked about Gaddy and Kuski both throwing great. Honestly, we could have put the entire staff. We talked about Matella had probably his best outing of the year. Sulpizio, Davis. I mean, we already said all these stats. Tanton, Cavalcante, the whole staff, they were phenomenal. Hitting wise, it wasn't a super deep week. I mean, it's only 3 games too. But Will Johnson, 3rd straight week. He's 4 of 11, homer, 3 RBIs, walk, couple hit by pitches. Zach Late was 4 for 12 with a double, 3 RBIs. Mac Dye only played 2 of the games with 3 out of 7, which is good to see him getting in the right direction.
Yeah.
Nick Felton only played in 2 of the game, but he was 2 for 4 with a walk, a couple of hit by pitches. So he was good. Will Johnson, I want to point out, it's his 3rd straight week. So in those 3 weeks where he's been player of the week, and I think I was looking, I didn't quite do all the stats, but he's been hotter since before then, probably about the last 7 weeks. He's probably been hot, but last 3 weeks, Will is 20 for 41, 4 doubles, 2 homers, 11 RBIs, 6 walks, 3 hit by pitch, 9 runs scored. So the slash line there, a 488 average, a 580 on base percentage. So almost 6% of the time he comes to the plate, he's getting on base, which is he's leading off now. That's fantastic. a 732 slugging percentage.
For a
And then
shortstop.
for a shortstop. And so that equals out to a 1312 OPS.
Oh my gosh.
Whew, those are some numbers. And that's again over a course of 40 at bats, 3 weeks. Like that's doing work.
That's an unbelievable hot streak.
Yeah.
And he's still just as scrappy as ever because I'll put players of the week back up. But I mean, dude got drilled in the spot that I
Oh.
blow out every time I sneeze. So I know exactly what that feels like.
I mean, that was a breaking ball. So at first I was like, oh, he's fine. And then he was in the dugout. He did not appreciate it. He was not happy about that one.
No, that got right in between the spine and the muscle there. Like that's a painful one. But I mean, dude doesn't care. Like you can see he's got his feet locked. He's getting on base any way he can. But unbelievable. Like never mind just being a shortstop, but just to have that slash line in the Sun Belt, like that's absolutely insane for Will to come back like that.
Yeah, he's had a pretty solid year. I mean, we'll obviously as the season ends, we'll talk about our overall players of the year. He's hey, if he has an amazing tournament, he might sneak in there. But he's had a pretty solid. He's had obviously had defensive issues the first half of the year, and those have kind of cleaned up. But he's overall hitting. I mean, he maybe had a little lull at one point for a few weeks, but he's been a very good hitter all year.
The home run that he hit yesterday hit the Jim Jarrett building. He smoked it straight down the line. It got us going. It got us like, all right, we can get back into this thing. We can try. Like it was no longer a library in that place, but that ball was absolutely smoked. And he's not a big dude. Like he's really not. He's very, he looks like a shortstop.
6'1", but he's he looks like a short. He's 6'1", very pretty thin. That's the swing right there. He hit the home run on too in that picture. He's not a guy where like, oh man, of course he's gonna hit the ball 9,000 feet.
Yeah. So it kind of surprised you, but he's just got quick action. Like the bat gets through the zone fast. And I mean, he left that thing up and he smoked it out of the ballpark.
Yeah.
So, well, congrats to the players of the week. I do like the 3-person layout. I know we probably won't always do that, but Darren, JJ,
sometimes we deserve it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we probably could have filled that whole thing up with.
I really thought we just have like a 9 grid of just all the pitchers that were really good, but we gotta. Just again, shout him out. That the pitching staff, frankly, was the star of the week. I mean, again, you take out that one bad inning, and again, Jackson's had that sometimes before where he's looked phenomenal, and then all of a sudden it's just not phenomenal. He's a freshman. There's always some argument at this point in the year, a guy's not a freshman anymore. Okay, whatever. He's still young. Ton of talent. I think. Again, we'll talk about the future probably as after the season ends, but the reality is like we could have the same rotation next year. You think you could have Kusky. Now Kusky, he's back to getting scouts looking at him again because he's been doing so well. So who knows? He might pitch his way and get drafted. But you theoretically could have Kusky and Gaddy as seniors, and then Okonkwo as a sophomore come right back in and be the rotation again. And that would be, I'd feel pretty good about things if we started out with that.
I would feel really good about it as well. Also, there are a lot of younger guys that would push all three of them, which is also a nice thing to have. And who knows? You can always deal with injuries. We've dealt with plenty this year, so to have a little bit deeper pitching staff is good. A couple other notes just to kind of wrap the JMU series. The Thursday game, we did not hit the ball particularly well. We only had 9 hits. We had to manufacture a lot of runs, and Scotty, I think, had 2 key sack bunts. One of them drove in a run, but I thought the shot was awesome. You getting bad on ball contact on the sack bunt,
and he loves it too. He's running in the dugout. He's running out like the bunting monarchs. Like he's just, Scotty is all personality, and he's gonna have fun no matter what he's doing.
Oh yeah, he's gonna have a good time. And then also TJ Aiken breaks out of what's been a really tough slump for him with a grand slam that just kind of put the game away on Friday, made it 8-0. Really pumped for him, getting the fire helmet and all of that. Great picture of him.
And what a nice easy swing too. It wasn't, I mean, that was like that again. I mean, I talk to him all the time. I try to keep reminding him like, hey man, just be an athlete, just have fun. And that was a case of he just saw the ball, hit the ball. He didn't try to do too much. Like he's so naturally good that just an easy swing and just destroyed that baseball.
It got left up in the zone and he absolutely crushed it. So good to see him kind of get off the snide there. He came into the game later on Saturday, get some reps, but if he can get back on the right track, to be a nice bonus to the lineup with a bunch of guys that are hitting the ball pretty well right now.
And as Nick Felton pointed out after the game on Thursday, it's all mom's cookies because mom brought some
Yes.
cookies and got some wins. So,
and I have been told that he will be bringing some cookies for the bus ride down
yes,
to Montgomery when you all leave later
yeah.
today.
So today is Sunday. We're gonna leave this afternoon. I'm taking the bus. I'm riding right down with them. We're leaving this afternoon. Going to stay in Charlotte, and then tomorrow, Monday, we're going to drive to Auburn and work out. Do a BP and work out with our friends at Auburn. I don't know if they'll be there or not. Which they're like number 8 in the country or something. That was
Yeah,
phenomenal for
pretty
them.
good. Pretty good.
They might be 6. I might be higher than that. And then we're going to drive the last hour to Montgomery, and then of course tomorrow at what is it? 6:30 local time we'll be, or thereabouts depending on the game before us, we'll be playing our game.
Yeah, that'll be a Tuesday at 6:30 Central, 7:30 Eastern. I try to put that reminder out there that the Sun Belt publishes everything in Central Time, so don't let that make you miss the game by an hour or anything.
Right. Yeah, or the other way, because we have plenty of our players from the West Coast, so they,
Yes,
which I feel like on the West Coast you're more aware of it. On the East Coast, we always have the East Coast bias when they say a time. We're like, obviously that's our time. Obviously, no one we're talking about anything else.
yeah, America's time, the East Coast time.
Yeah.
And I'll also point out too, we were talking, the weather forecast is not great this week. There's a lot of chance of the thunderstorms. It's going to be hot and humid, typical kind of deep South summer. Last year we got lucky. It was a little cooler. So pay attention to social media and game times, because things can change quick, fast, and in a hurry when you've got 10 teams trying to play a whole bunch of games in a short time frame. But
yeah, I was trying to tell some of my my coworkers, about what I was doing next week, and I was like, yeah, but they have a couple of these days where it's like 4 games scheduled over the course of the entire day, and a little bit of rain can really play with the schedule. So it's gonna be hot and sweaty. It's gonna be one of those days we're all gonna be sticky and gross and just gonna have to deal with it and be together as people.
Yeah, and someone was asking me, well, why do they bus down there? And it's like, well, it's easy to plan when you're going to go there on the bus, but you have no idea when you're coming back. We could be coming back Tuesday night. We could be coming back Thursday night. We could be coming back Sunday or Monday.
Hopefully we're coming back Monday. That's the goal.
That would be great. That would be the best Memorial Day weekend ever, I think, if we were to pull that off. But we got a long way to go, because we are going to be the 8th seed going up against 9th seeded Georgia State. Probably the most heartbreaking loss of the season occurred down there at Georgia State, losing that 3rd game, blowing a big lead in the 9th, and losing in extras to a walk-off home run. Chance for some redemption, though, because I feel like we more or less dominated them that series. But we just kind of melted down in that final inning of the 3rd game, and kind of comes back to haunt you a little bit, because we'd be in a very different boat in terms of seeding if we had won that game and been 16-14.
Yeah, and and this is where confidence comes in. Like I said, I think we're playing Georgia State. I think we showed we can beat them. Again, we had that mistakes. I don't think those same things would happen. Those same pitchers would do the same thing. I don't think the same. And I think what is it, if we win the game, depending on what happens on Wednesday, you're either going to be playing Coastal Carolina or Southern Miss, just depending on who else wins the other game, and you'll know that ahead of time because the first game will tell you. And obviously we know we can beat Coastal Carolina, and frankly the same thing happened against Southern Miss. We blew the game at the end there. I feel very confident about these teams. I don't, again, it's the way this team is playing. It feels like, hey, we can beat them, so I feel good. Obviously the goal is you want to win on Tuesday, you want to win on Wednesday, you want to win on Thursday, and have a day off on Friday, which you'll need at that point. That's the goal.
Yeah, the only realistic path is obviously got to win Tuesday. And when you put baseball in a 1-game playoff, anything can happen. You can kind of throw a lot of things out. You just have to do what you have to do to win that game. And
there's a reason baseball is played in series. It's not a 1 game, because 1 game rarely gives you the real test of a team. So it's always weird when that happens.
Even the 3-game series that they do for super regionals and in the first round of the MLB playoffs, like you're not really valuing the best team. Like who can win 2 before losing 2 is basically what that is. But the way the seeding works there is Southern Miss, because of Coastal's little collapse down the stretch here, won the regular season.
We broke Coastal. That's hilarious. We broke their hearts and their soul. I think what their fans had that realization after our series that they are not going to win a national championship this year, which of course led them to all be like, we're the worst team ever. I mean, they're still going to go. They're probably going to win their regional. They might win a super regional. Who knows? But maybe not with the injuries they have. But I think that it is accurate to say they're not going to win a national championship this year. They don't have the bullets.
No, and you can only expect so much. They were in the final last
Right.
year, but
Yeah.
they've had a ton of injuries. But they really have gone into a tailspin. The Cajuns were
Yeah.
smelling blood in the water, and they took 2 out of 3. And that
Yeah.
Louisiana's not an easy place to play, especially if you're down. So
Yeah.
I would much rather see Coastal on Wednesday if we win Tuesday than I would Southern Miss, who's won 9 in a row.
I think they said they won 13 out of 14 Sun Belt games to finish the year or something like that.
Yeah,
There's some crazy amount at the end that Southern Miss is on, and I personally I kind of always root for Southern Miss because they seem like they're pretty nice folks and we like them, but
yeah,
I don't want to root for them anymore.
yeah. I don't want to have to
That's
play
a
them.
next week when they're in like the regional. Yeah,
Yeah, we'll root for them then. But basically,
yeah.
Southern Miss will play the lowest seed out of those first 4. So
Mhm.
if you go in and look at the schedule, if Marshall upsets Louisiana, then Marshall will play Southern Miss, and no matter what happens in our game, the winner of that would play Coastal Carolina. So we'll kind of have a good idea.
Yeah.
But the only true path is win Tuesday, win Wednesday, and win Thursday. You got to win 3 games in a row, something that we really haven't done this season. If you do that, Friday is basically just a loser's bracket day. So if you've come through the Wednesday, Thursday, and you've won, you get the day off, which we would obviously desperately need because the alternative is you have to basically win 2 games on Friday. So it's a big swing coming out of those first 2 games. And that's where we've seen the champion for the Sun Belt come from historically. They've had that Friday off and they haven't played in the first round. So it's a long and a very difficult road, but I mean, this team has the ability to get hot. The consistently inconsistent. If this is a week where they're inconsistently good, we could be in great shape.
I imagine the teams are not wanting to play Old Dominion right now. I think that the people who are paying attention realize this team has a lot of talent, probably should have been better than it was this year, is playing really well right now. And they're aware that like they could really, I mean, say when you go and punch Coastal in the mouth at their place, it's like that's a wake up call to like, hey, these guys have some stuff. We've got to, when things are going right, we've got a really dominant pitching staff and we've got a really dominant lineup.
Yeah, and we played some tougher teams, early in the season. But what I was most impressed by is we went 3-3 against the top 2 teams in the league, and that has to give you a lot of confidence and put some fear in some other people. We could play
should
up
have been 4-2.
I mean, probably so. We kind of blew that game to Southern Miss, so it could be a very different situation. But our ability to play up to the best competition in the Sun Belt, it's not something I worry about. It's those shooting yourself in the foot mistakes against a team that doesn't make it. We had to walk off Arkansas State, who somehow, despite their hot start, they did not make the tournament, which is kind of unbelievable to me. Marshall was able to sneak in.
I think they're like 60 in RPI for the whole country and didn't make the tournament.
Yeah, they finished 29 and 24. So they just have one less loss than us this season, but
they should be having a conversation about like, are they a like at large bid team? If they have a good tournament and they're not even in the tournament, that's wild.
Yeah, there was a ton of parity in the Sun Belt. I mean, Southern Miss and Coastal were kind of up there, but again, we went 3-3 against them.
Yeah,
and then South Alabama, App, and Troy finished tied for third at 17-13. So we were 2 games back of third. It's just a tough league, man. Like
it's a hard league. I mean, it's a Power 4 conference. That was when the other day somebody on Twitter was pointing out it was like the percentages of players from Virginia that each Virginia school has. With I think like VMI was number 1 with like 97%. And I think I don't believe they give out scholarships. So that makes sense, right? It's in-state tuition. ODU was at like 23% of our roster is from Virginia, or 24, which is right where, I mean, UVA had 23 also. It's not like, so the argument was, of course, being biased living here in Hampton Roads, is like, how do we keep 757 kids from going other places? And I said, I personally, I love it. I love getting to see 757 kids because I can see them in their high school. A lot of times I've known them for years. But at the same time, it's like, that's the plus side of playing in a Power 4 conference is we can get the best talent. I mean, you see, we have guys from California, we have guys from Florida, we have guys from all up the Northeast, New Jersey, all the places.
Texas, everywhere.
Texas, getting a lot of North Carolina guys now. I mean, because we are a power conference. We might not be for all the sports. For baseball, we for sure are. We are a Power 4, and we can get the best players. So it's like, is it nice to have local kids? Sure. Does that matter more than having talent? No, I'd much rather have the talented players and they're from somewhere else. So it's one of those, yeah, I get from like a fan perspective, it's fun to root for our local guys, but at the same time, it's like, hey, if and the reality is, some of these guys, I'm trying to think of some guys off the top of my head who are like going, and some, it's like, hey, if an SEC school or a ACC school wants you, it's hard to turn them down, frankly. Just the allure of it all. Now, in 2 years when you haven't played and they dump you,
yeah, you come right back home
to Old Dominion. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's where we can kind of bring a lot of those guys back, because at a certain level, I mean, it's similar to football. If a kid's a 4 or a 5-star, he's not coming to ODU, like not, at least not initially. Like it's just not happening.
Yeah.
Why would you when you can play on a bigger stage and make more money elsewhere? But
just the ability. I mean, look at the draft. Like how many SEC guys are drafted first 5 rounds compared to how many we haven't. I mean, our highest draft pick in the last 20 years is a 4th round. I think Yarborough was the highest draft pick the last 20 years, right? I mean, so it's like that's just the reality, and that's in the Sun Belt. Where if we have a guy like a 1st rounder, it's kind of like, oh, there's a Sun Belt guy up high, right? It's just not, again, and that's part of them not realizing where the talent is, because you get Vinny Pasquantino's 11th round pick, who then gets to the big leagues in 3 years and is phenomenal.
Yeah, so, everyday starter now,
right?
Yeah, I mean, this is not the days of the CAA when we were one of the best teams in an okay conference, but they were never a top 10 conference. Conference USA would push into the top 10. There were some years there where they were really good, but the Sun Belt, even in a year where maybe Southern Miss and Coastal are down a little bit, we're still trading off 4th, 5th best conference in RPI. Yeah. So it's just a little different. And when you play at that stage, you have to widen your recruiting net. Like we still target guys that are local.
You get to widen your recruiting net. It's not you have to. You're allowed, but whereas if you're playing in the CAA, it's like, yeah, you're going to kind of get Virginia and anybody who's heard of your school before. When you're in the Power 4, Power 5 group, yeah, you're allowed to go out and grab guys from everywhere.
And we've been successful. I mean, how many guys from like Washington and Idaho have we brought in the past couple of years that have been?
I think we got a kid phenomenal. We got a kid from Indiana coming. And apparently, I think I remember Finney saying this kid, like, if it wasn't for all the weird rules and things they've done with all the NIL, this kid wouldn't have ended up coming to us. But because things have worked out and because we are actually a power school, and he's hype. I see him sharing stuff about ODU all the time. He can't wait to be here, which is great. That's what you want. I mean, I love if 757. I love it. I love it when 757 kids are here. But at the same time, it's like, hey, I love it when we get talented players and have a good team.
That's just give me good people that can play some good ball, and we'll be in good shape. Yeah. But that is the difference. And you can ask yourself the question. I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer. You can be 15-15 in one of the best baseball conferences, or you could be 20-10 in the CAA or the A10 or something like that. Like what
still
do you
maybe lose the tournament and have no chance of being in the regional.
Yeah, I mean, look at men's basketball for the Sun Belt. If you don't win the tournament, you don't get in the NCAA tournament, period. So at least in the Sun Belt, we could finish 3rd and be 18-12 and host a regional.
I mean,
it's just different playing field.
We got the schedule here. Southern Miss and Coastal are both going to regional.
Yes, without a doubt.
South Alabama, App State, and Troy. I don't have their RPI in front of me, but all 3 of them, and probably 2 of those 3, especially depending on how the tournament goes for them, are probably going to the regionals. Yeah, we're usually a 3 or 4 bid league.
Yeah. App State may have shot themselves in the foot by dropping their series to Georgia State, but they're still playing. I mean, we've talked about Arkansas State as an RPI in the 60s, and they didn't make the Sun Belt tournament.
Right.
It's pretty wild. All right. Well, we're going to be heading down to Montgomery. I know you're hopping the bus and riding down, which I'm very jealous of. I'm sad I have to work on Monday because it sounds like fun.
We'll see. We'll see how jealous you'll be of that. I'll keep you updated. It might be, it was very funny this week at work. It said, I'm on vacation next week. Oh, what are you doing? I'm taking a bus ride to Alabama. Like it does not. What I'm doing is super fun when I explain what it is, but when you just say what's happening, it sounds not fun.
Yes, but I will catch up with you on Monday. I'm gonna get down to Montgomery probably around like 6 or 7 on Monday. We'll have some additional content for you. We're gonna try to record some things with the 6-7 on either Monday, depending on what the schedule is, or Tuesday before the game. And hopefully, we're bringing you stuff all week because we won Tuesday and we're guaranteed 2 more games after that. Yeah. We'll be down there. We'll be live. I've got all the fun and exciting equipment that I don't really know how to use, but I'll figure a way to get the shot in frame here. Certainly not CB level of shot framing here, but we'll try.
Yeah, we're gonna try. We'll try to figure out what we're doing and try to do some fun. It might be live, and maybe you see it later, or maybe you're gonna be part of it live. Who knows? We're gonna figure out what we're doing, and I'll try, and as we're working out at Auburn, I'll maybe try to figure out some stuff, at least maybe some video, and who knows? Well, who knows what we're doing? As you know, we're not professionals. We're just a couple of guys, and so we'll do what we can.
Yes, we're using our PTO from work to take a bus to Montgomery.
Yeah,
So
right, exactly. Yes, 100%. The PTO we saved up from work to take a bus to Montgomery. That's where
exactly. But make sure you're following us on social media. At Hudson Homers on Twitter and X, Hudson Homers on Instagram, also the ODU Monarchist account on YouTube. That's where all of our content is at. So make sure you're subscribed and got alerts and all that fun stuff. We'll keep you in the loop. But I'm excited. I mean, we're going to go down there and just see what happens. We got nothing to lose. Just go down there and try and win some ball games.
Go down and be fully committed to having the funnest summer ever.
Funnest summer ever. Go Monarchs.
Go Monarchs.